Your complaint states what you swore to. You said after the May 7th incident, the doctor suggested I stay home for a few days. That's baloney. Okay?
I wasn't allowed to put my finger in water.
That's okay. You don't have to put your finger in water. Wear gloves.
He doesn't have gloves. He didn't have gloves in his restaurant.
You mean you didn't use them?
Shh. Then get one.
It wasn't my responsibility to buy them. He was my employer. He was my employer. He should have had all of that in there.
Miss Norwood, who do you work for now?
I work for Country Club.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a dishwasher there as well, /prep. And whatever they tell me to do.
I doubt that. But I'm going to finish reading your complaint. And your complaint says, the doctor suggested I stay home for a few days, but the defendant threatened to fire me. So about 3 days later, I went back to work. That's what you swore to.
That's when I actually started physically working. I went there, but I wasn't physically working.
Well, then why do you expect to get paid for that?
I was on the clock. He told me to come in to help him with the other guy that he had.
This is a very, very easy case. I'm not going to spend another minute on it.
And my mother can testify to his character.
I'm not interested in your. Listen to me. I'm not interested.
And that's my part of punitive damages.
Mr. Let me explain something to you. If you want to build your portfolio, your resume, I would suggest that you understand that nobody likes attitude unless it's coming from somebody who's got a position of strength. And until you learn a skill that you can do better than anybody else, I would suggest that you bottle your attitude. Do you understand?
I try to
Good.
bottle my attitude
Now,
with him.
this is my ruling. Pay careful attention. You see all these medical bills? I am holding you responsible for the cut on her finger that happened at her job. But the checks will be made payable directly to the facility.
Thank you.
To the hospital, to the provider who provided the service for her. She will not get a penny. Checks will be made payable directly here.
Thank you.
And aside from anything else, she gets Zippo.
Good.
Nothing.
She doesn't deserve it.
Absolutely nothing. Because she cut herself because she wasn't careful. But it happened during the scope of her employment. And therefore, you, sir, are responsible. If she chose to go to all different kinds of doctors to have this taken care of, you're still responsible. Pay this bill. But as far as punitive damages, baloney. You did a nice thing for her. You gave her a job. You held the job open. That's what you get for it. Just remember, be a better judge of character. Goodbye.
Thank you. I just sued someone else for punitive damages. Can I get my papers back, please?
You think you can? I thought it was fair.
I don't think it was right.
Everybody wants to get paid for nothing.
It couldn't have been too little. I got 30 pills, and this is all I got left.
Might as well do it while you work for somebody else, right? That's because you don't have any other drugs to do.
No, you ain't got no other drugs to do.
This is an attitude person. She needs to learn how to curb that attitude towards performance instead of mouthing off.
You racist, you a racist.
Honey, I have black people working for me, and I've got black friends.
Yeah,
they come to my day every day, my house
you count
every
them all
day.
on your finger. That's how you know you racist. If you count all the black people you hang around on one finger, you know you a racist.
I got the one finger for you.
And now the next case. Suing hair salon manager Patricia Massey, stylist Zena Kanuna, and receptionist Kelly Bauer. Catherine says the blonde highlight she asked for turned out purple.
This is case number 118 on the calendar in the matter of Juergens versus Mirror Salon. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat, please.
Who's the owner of Mirror Salon?
She's not present.
Well, who's going to be speaking for
I'm
this?
the manager. My name is Patricia Massey.
Good. Why don't the two of you have a seat? Ms. Juergens, you went to the salon, this Mirror Salon, to have your hair cut and colored.
Yes.
And it is your claim that, aside from the haircut that was a little too short that you were not happy with, the hair color that they provided for you was really less than satisfactory, giving you a slightly purple spotted tone.
Yes.
And when you got home and you saw it in natural light, you were appalled. You went someplace else and had it redone. What you're suing for is the cost of having the process that they did at Mirror reversed, and also the bounce check costs that you stopped payment on the check that you wrote to them.
Yes.
The salon says that they want the money that you were supposed to pay them for the work that they did for you, because they would have been delighted to repair your hair had you come back to them. They didn't have that opportunity because you went elsewhere. So tell me when you went to their salon.
I went there on March 22nd.
Was this the first time that you had been there?
Yes.
Who recommended it?
I live nearby there. And
So nobody?
no one.
And you didn't have the name of a stylist or colorist? You just walked in
No, I didn't.
cold?
I called in. about a week beforehand. And I just asked for a Saturday appointment for blonde highlights and a haircut, and they suggested Zena.
Okay, so you got a haircut, and they cut your hair too short for you. But you weren't so upset about that. That happens. It's happened
It'll
to
grow.
everybody. Hair grows. What about the color?
Well, the color, we had agreed on blonde highlights and brown lowlights. She had brought out some color swatches of hair. We agreed on it, and she went ahead.
Okay, you left, you paid your bill, so in the salon it looked fine.
Yes, it did, but the lighting in the salon it's very soft,
I understand.
kind of dark.
Been there. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
All right. Now, do you have pictures to show me of what it looked like in natural light?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it. Well, there are two where I can clearly see what you're complaining about. I'm going to show these two to the defendant. Some of the other ones I can't see. What you're complaining about are those purplish spots. Who is Zena? Step up, please. Can you explain that to me, Zena?
Well, when
I
she-
see the highlights,
Right.
and I also see some purple there that would be distressing. What's that from?
Well, when she had first walked in, she had 4 different colors in her hair. And I told her step by step what I was going to do. And we had talked about the haircut, and she loved it. Her hair was uneven, and
Zena, don't try to confuse me. I'm not talking to you about the cut. I've already said to her, your hair was too short. It's longer now. It's fine. Sure, keep your hair a little shorter anyway. It makes you look younger. What I'm talking about is the purple in her hair. She didn't come into your salon with purple in her hair. So explain to me how she ended up with purple in her hair.
it was not a purple in her hair.
That's purple.
This was under the light, so it shows like a burgundy brown.
No,
And
it shows peculiar looking. It doesn't show natural. It's very peculiar. You know, for somebody going to a punk rock concert, it's fine. But that is a little peculiar. Let me have it back. So what you're telling me, Zena, is you can't explain it. That's just the way the color grabbed her hair. Is that what happened?
well, I had to use that to kill the 4 colors in her hair. And she loved it when I was done.
No. In your light, she loved it. You know, I've seen teenagers with this in their hair, but not grown-ups. They don't wear it. All right. Not awful. I mean, you didn't have spots. And you said in your complaint you had spots. I thought it looked like a leopard, you know, with spots.
Oh, no.
These were
Streaks.
streaks of color that had purplish, reddish tints. It's the way the color grabbed your hair, right? Okay. Other than that, it looks fine. Other than that, she got nice highlights. I think she did a nice job on the highlights. It's just where the red grabbed your hair.
Correct. The blonde was fine.
So why didn't you go back to them?
I contacted the salon after I got home and saw it in the natural light, and Zena got on the phone, and she kept saying, well, no, it looks good on you. You liked it when you left. And I said, no, in a natural light, it looks like red grape juice is in my hair. And I said, I have got to get this fixed. I have to go to work on Monday. I can't go to work with my hair like this.
So what did Zena say?
Well, we went back and forth for a few minutes, and then she said, I'm booked. The soonest I can take you would be Tuesday afternoon.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what did you do?
Oh, I was very upset. I needed something done. I called a salon that was open on a Sunday, asked if there was anyone there that could do corrective color.
So?
She okayed it that day, and I...
Zena, listen to me. The blonde highlights, dear, look fine. The purple does not look fine. Your customer called and said, when I got out into the natural light, which is where most people see me, it looks funny. I can't go to work on Monday morning like this. And you acknowledged that you said to her, there's nothing I can do. I'm booked. If somebody calls really upset, maybe you take an extra half hour, or you have somebody else take one of your clients, or you say, come in and I'll have somebody else take care of you in order to accommodate a customer. I'll hear you.
She didn't have the initial conversation with the plaintiff
Who
in
did?
the beginning. Kelly. So
Fine.
when you're...
Kelly, step up.
Judge Judy continues in Catherine Juergens claims hairstylist Zena Kanuna dyed her hair purple She is suing for the cost to have it redone.
You had the initial conversation,
Yes.
Kelly. What did she say to you?
She called and she said she would like to come in. Her daughter said her hair looked purple when she got home, so she'd like to come in and get her hair recolored. And I said I'd have to talk to Zena and see if she could squeeze her in. So by the time I talked to Zena, it was probably around 4:30. We closed at 6. That I got a chance to talk
What
to
time
her
has she
again.
called you, Kelly?
Around 3:30.
What time had you called her?
It's about 3:30.
So you got to speak the first opportunity that you had to speak to Zena was an hour later.
About then, yes.
Good.
I
Go
had to
ahead.
call twice.
You called twice.
Yes, I did. The
Okay,
first
go